of Public Works and Safety, roll call. Present. At the beginning, I see this large number of people. I want you all to know we are not giving away money today at the Board of Works. Approval of our minutes of the April 4, 11, and 18.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is a bid recommendation, River Drive Construction from United Consulting. And the low bidder is Walsh and Kelly with a bid of $748,410.78, which is almost $150,000 less than the engineer's estimate. Therefore, the recommendation is that Walsh and Kelly be awarded the contract.
I'll make a motion that we concur with that recommendation and make the award to Walsh and Kelly.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, correspondence from American Structure Point. They request permission to restrict 169th Street from Southeastern and Calumet to one-way travel from April 22nd through the end of November.
This is for the reconstruction project. There's a lot of underground work. They cannot safely maintain two traffic lanes through that stretch. So they're going to set it up as a road closure using 165th as the detour and allowing one-way traffic for residents, police and fire access, homes and businesses within that stretch. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve this request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, from British Petroleum, they advise they are updating a cathodic protection system for its facilities in the Summer Street and Indianapolis Boulevard, and we will just note that correspondence. Item D, Lassie Plumbing requests permission to open a section of the street at 635 Kane Street for their work.
We approve that digging request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Rogers Roofing requests permission to close one lane of Holman Avenue in front of Dabney University, 5217 Holman, on Friday, May the 3rd.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve that lane closure.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, from Chief Miller, he requests permission for the Boy Scouts annual cleanup and Boy Scout Drive, 8:30 to 12 on April 27, and also submits disposal authorizations.
I'll make a motion that we approve that closure.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is we are approaching a number of demolition cases. So we'll go to public expression. Item 10, anyone wishing to address the board, now's your opportunity.
Good morning. My name is Rich Kinzel, and I own a bar at 2949 165th Street. It's called Game Time Bar. And on June 22nd of this year, we want to have an outside venue at our bar. We have a parking lot that we plan on fencing in with one of those orange fences, and we're going to barbecue and just have an outing. We would like to have approval for that.
Only on your own property?
Yes, it's only on my own property.
What are the hours of the event?
Our hours of operation is from 7 a.m. till 3:30 a.m., but we don't plan on opening up the outing until probably around 11, I would say. We're going to set up early in the morning, obviously. We'll probably go till around midnight. But we're going to have music, but we're going to cut the music back at like 10 o'clock. And it'll be set at a very low, it's not thumping music.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the request.
Does he need to speak to environmental too on this?
Before 10, right? Not before 10, though, right?
If you shut the music off before 10, then you don't need to go to environmental because
Okay.
there's a sound regulation
Right.
that needs to be abided by. So we'll approve it subject subject
To closing music at
go
10.
Beyond that time, you gotta go upstairs to third floor environmental and get the okay.
As long as we close the music at 10, we can still be outside, or, okay, that's fine, that's not a problem at all.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
Next is a resolution for disposing surplus property.
Mr. President, this is authorization to dispose some police department equipment and transfer it to the sanitary port authority. I'd like to make a motion that it be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. President, could I just ask them to take one item out of order? We have Attorney Foster here on item P, which is 4839L, and he just needs a new date. And I'm sure we'd probably like to hear what that new date is, so if you could just give me a new date in a couple of weeks.
I appreciate the courtesy. We'd agreed to do this 2 weeks ago, and I was going to have somebody else attend for me today, and I found out last night that didn't work.
May 30th, Mr. President.
May 30th it is.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Council.
Item H, which are proposed findings of fact and a decision denying the issuance of a business license for 7509 to 7531 Calumet Avenue.
Mr. President, I've reviewed the order. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the denial of the business license.
And I concur in that recommendation. Next, item I, business license denial, Gemstone Jewelers. Are any interested parties here for Gemstone Jewelers?
Mr. President, seeing as no one appears, I'd like to make the motion that the denial of the business license be affirmed at Gemstone Jewelers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Give me just a minute here, please. Next, demolition hearings. And please be patient. We get through these pretty expeditiously.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Mr. Callahan, have you people been working around the clock or something?
Yeah, do I get overtime for that?
1531 Brown Street.
The inspection has been paid for on 1531 Brown. We'd ask for a continuance to allow that inspection to June 27th, the next demolition date.
Very good. 2006, 08, and 010 Calumet Avenue.
2008 has been demolished. 2006 is making progress, and so is 2010. We'd ask for a status continuance for June 27th.
Granted. 5722 Calumet.
It's been demolished by the owner at the owner's cost, and we'd ask that it be removed from the list.
Move that action at 5722 Calumet be dismissed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4117 Cameron.
Mr. Krasinski's present. Last meeting, he was going to update the board as to the bank's decision on the property.
The bank has gone in and inspected. If I remember correctly, this is the property that's been sealed off. The bank believes that it can be cleaned. Unfortunately, the foreclosure is still nowhere near being completion. I checked yesterday. They're publishing to try and find the owner because the owner cannot be found. The bank would like to try and actually clean up the interior to see if it's possible. They don't. It is bad, but they don't think it's. They believe it's salvageable.
I guess we would have, the city's position would be to ask the bank if they would have any issue with allowing us to enter the order to demolish, but I thought it says enter.
I believe it was entered, but withheld.
Oh, we're withholding on the bids. Then just get a June 27th date on this to ask status, but also require the bank to pay for the inspection.
June 27th. So what is the date?
June 27th?
Yes, Mr. President.
Very good.
Okay.
222 to 224 Carroll Street.
We can take this along with 1903 and 1909 Clay. Ms. Susan Severson has entered her appearance on behalf of Mr. Gutierrez, the tax purchaser. We've given her to June 27th, so we'd ask those three be set for June 27th.
And those inclusive were 1903 and 1909 Clay Street.
That's correct.
Very good. 7514 Columbia.
Mr. Matthews is here. He was representing the owner at the last hearing. This has already been ordered demolished. We're in need of an inspection on this property.
We submitted to the city a proposal for work to be done in order to convert it to a single-family residence, but apparently I missed something and they need to do an inspection before they can pass on whether that proposal is adequate. So
we'd ask for June 27th to allow inspection.
Very good. 7514 Columbia.
Actually, that's the one we just did, Mr. President. 443 Conkey is the next on the list.
Go right ahead.
thank you.
Yes, at this point, there's been no movement on the prior agreement of 42013, and we basically need a new agreement or an addendum on this. Mr. Cook has been in contact with the owner and is going to stop by. We'd ask for June 27th to allow an addendum to the inspection, or to the rehab agreement.
Very good. 1846 Davis.
Mr. Benasiak was here a little bit ago representing the state of this at this house. Apparently the work has been completed, and he's going to call for final inspection on the property. June 27th date, please.
Very good. 505 Detroit.
This has been demolished and should be removed from the list.
Move that action at 505 Detroit be dismissed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
247 Doty.
Mr. Sorge is here. He was also representing the owner last time. There was a inspection report dated February 19th of 2013. However, nothing has been, there's been no movement since that date. So the city's position is to request the entering of the order, or the affirming of the order.
Yeah, actually there's been everything going on since that time. I mean, he's been, part of the order was he had to get a bond for the property. He had quite a problem getting a bond post, $10,000 bond, and he has that in place now. He has applied for a building permit. I'm not sure whether that was issued yet or not.
Not according to the building department, no.
Okay. So, just as of last week, he finally got the bond put in place, and he wasn't allowed to do anything until he did that. But he is willing to move forward and has the inspection. He's going to make the repairs on this property.
Mr. President, I think we have a rehab agreement that we've submitted to the owner, or to Mr. Sorge, and I think what we need to do is just get it signed. That can be signed, and we can stick to that, and the progress will be made. I'm fine with June 27th. But we just need the...
June 27th it is.
Yes. And we'll get, if you don't have it, we'll get it to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
423 Florence.
I think Ms. Murphy is here. She was the tax sale purchaser at last hearing. We asked her to obtain an inspection before this hearing. She has not done that.
Yeah, we did.
To my knowledge.
We did.
Sir? Inspection? Okay. We haven't had the order. We haven't had the inspection report yet. So we'd ask that we move to June 27th to allow her to enter an agreement to rehabilitate.
Is that okay with you, ma'am?
Thank you.
June 27th, we'll see you again. 6327 Forest.
June 27th, this is moving forward with progress.
Very good. 551 Gosselin.
A bankruptcy is continuing to pend, and there's a lawsuit now on this property. June 27th, please.
Very good. 1956 Heyman Street.
June 27th?
June 27th, yes, ma'am.
June 27th on that date? On that?
On 551 Gosselin is June 27th. 1956 Hannon.
Yes.
We ask that this be moved to June 27th to allow time for the rehab agreement to be put in place.
6320 Harrison.
Mr. President, on this one, Attorney Golding cannot be here Garcia, he's over at the tax sales of the county. I was in communication with him. His client, Ms. Coe, was supposed to send over an agreement to rehabilitate at 12:44 this morning. She sent it over, however, it was the incorrect one. It was the redacted one. So we do not at this point in time have an agreement to rehabilitate, but I would ask us to continue to June 27th. It's just basically we're having an issue over the bond.
Do we need a status date?
June 27th, please.
That's fine. 422 Highland.
This is actually moving along. I think the owner's here. Your name, ma'am?
I just need like a month.
Could we have your name, please?
Laura Delgado.
Ms. Delgado has been working with Mr. Cook. He's been out there. There's been some progress. It's moving along. We'd ask for the June 27th date.
June 27th, it is.
Okay, June 27th. Okay.
And Mr. Smith will accommodate you on the dates that you want, but if you want to break these up into a couple of dates so we don't have the backlog, I'll leave that up to you. 4403 Holman.
This actually can be removed from the demolition. I'm happy to report to the board that it's 99% complete and just waiting final inspection, so it can be removed from the demolition list.
I move that action at 4403 Holman be dismissed.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 4405-10 Holman Avenue.
Mr. President, I have some current photographs on this property I'd like to show you. I don't know if there's anybody here on this property. I will show you the pictures from August and November, and then I will show you the pictures from February 12th, which shows all the wiring is ripped out and big pile of junk tires on the property. And now I will show you the pictures that were taken last night. It still shows a big pile of junk tires behind the property, and all of the windows have been boarded up.
Yeah, I think.
As you'll see, there was a report from the road pest control.
What? Yeah.
You
know, Pete?
The road pest control denies that there was the presence of any insects. However, if you recall the last hearing, the neighboring business complained about any insects and said that you could see 2 inches of them dead through the windows. So apparently the solution to seeing 2 inches of dead insects through the windows is to board all of the windows up so that you can no longer see inside. As you can see, the tires behind the building has been there for at least 3 months, which is a mosquito hazard. All of the electrical has been ripped out at the box, and the building is now powerless. In fact, it looks now worse than it did back in August. This is a blight on the neighborhood. I know the strategy of the bank is to try to sell the property. However, not that I have any experience with banks, but usually a boarded up building that has a bunch of junk tires behind it is less likely to sell if it has no power than a fully functional powered building that doesn't have junk tires behind it with all of its windows intact.
What relief does the city seek?
I'm asking for an order to repair. I would like this to be put back into the condition it was at the time it became abandoned last July. It has now been abandoned for going on a year. I would like all of the windows replaced with glass. I would like all the power reinstalled so that the security system is replaced. Because when it was Pete's Produce, nobody was breaking the windows, nobody was dropping junk tires behind it. Now that it's in the bank's control, it's looking worse and worse. I mean, what's going to be next? The arsonist that's sitting in the 600 block of Sibley is going to set it on fire? And I find it very difficult to believe that no evidence of insects was found because a civilian who came here and testified he could see 2 inches of dead insects.
That was last summer.
January 24th, which was our last hearing.
Well, that's when
Your
he
chance
said
to
it.
respond, Mr. Bauer.
I apologize for jumping in. Are you completed? Okay. The windows were recently vandalized, and it was boarded up to protect the building. We've done everything that we possibly can to make the situation safe and secure. The bank has a foreclosure set in early June. We have already talked to people who have interest in the property. We obviously can't jump ahead of ourselves on that, but someone can acquire it and operate a business. My bank is not in the business of opening a business and operating it in the meantime. At the last hearing, you asked for an extermination. We have done that. We didn't ask
Yes, sir.
We simply had the pest control company come in and do what they needed to do to take care of it. It didn't cost any more or less money. It was about $300, maybe a little shy of that, for them to come in. They took all appropriate action that they had to and gave us a 60-day warranty. Now, since August or last summer, when I heard the testimony, because I just showed up, we started our foreclosure action in November, I believe it is, or that's when a receiver was appointed to secure control. And then Mr. Hazafotis took steps to secure control. When I heard at the January hearing, it was last summer that the problem arose. Since the receiver has been in place, we showed you at the last hearing, we spent over $6,000 cleaning out the entire place. We have photographs of the inside reflecting that it's perfectly clean inside. We would like the opportunity at this point to complete our foreclosure and sell it to a willing buyer, have that person come in and do what they want to the building. It doesn't make any sense right now to do further action because we don't know who's going to end up owning it and what they're going to do to renovate it and take care of it. But I know Mr. O'Connor knows a Mr. Munich who is an attorney in the area, and he has contacted me for a client, for someone who might be interested in acquiring this, and we've had another inquiry in the meantime. And Mr. Hazafotis can state, Allied Realty has been in business in Lake County for decades. I'm not going to say how many decades, but he's been through the property several times, and he's indicated they have done everything they possibly can inside to clean the place. We've hired an exterminator. If there are tires on the outside and they're on our property, we're cleaning them up, period. Mr. Hazafotis, if they're on our property, we're not going to clean up the neighborhood, but if they're on our lot, they will be done. Right, Mr. Hazafotis? If I could see the photographs, no one's told us about the tires. In all the meetings that we've had, we went out there with a building inspector too.
Has there been an inspection of this property by code enforcement?
Yes.
And when did that happen?
I was out there about a month ago, relatively clean. There were some signs of nice wrappings. The report that they have shows that they sprayed for that.
These are tires in February, these are the tires in April.
Basically, all their units, perishable, have been removed.
Is that our building? Is that our building?
Is there anything further that they can do concerning the condition of the inside of the building, other than what they've done?
I believe you do have the situation with the windows and general condition of the property. I mean, that's something that's going to have to be vigilant on. I don't want to wait till we have the next hearing so we can tell them that there's tires in the building. Someone has to maintain the property and take the time to go by and see that it's being cared for. So if we got grass growing, weeds growing, it's sure it's going to be, if something doesn't, be proactive for deciding for lawns and alleys and weeds and such.
And you have that authority if you choose to cite the property?
Yes, I'd hate to have to go through all that when they know that we need to get a particular property. People should have to issue a citation when they're in front of this board for a demo hearing.
And my biggest concern is how long are these windows going to be boarded up, you know, it's a main street. And people get tired of looking at a boarded up building, you know, for any length of time. I'd give them maybe a few months to either put windows in or whatever.
The ordinance requires that boarded up windows will be unboarded after 90 days. That's what the city ordinance requires. That's the maximum amount of time that the board can remain on windows.
We're going to comply, but why? We've done everything under the demolition order to take care of this building, but why are we going after somebody to do something proactive in the future? 90 days comes. Of course, the building inspector can call Mr. Hazafotis in the meantime, but June 4 is the foreclosure hearing. There's something going to happen there. We're going to take care of it. But
when did the board up occur, if you remember?
Just recently.
I think
we'll talk in 90 days.
The original board up was in November.
Yeah, right, before I came. And then the second one, they broke the window recently, and I got a call from code enforcement, and I had it boarded up.
Right away.
Here's the issue. The issue is this neighborhood has had to deal with this unsightly blight for 18 months now. They're tired of it. We're tired of hearing, we're not tired of hearing their complaints. We are sensitive to their complaints, and we're tired of building owners, and I know you're just a recent building owner. Of
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
We have to bid.
Leaving their blighted messes for good neighbors to have to deal with, okay? So, that being said, Mr. Hasabotis, if you would take some extra time, once every 2 weeks, and drive by the property, when you see things that are gonna be unsightly to the neighbors, things that you wouldn't want in your house, near your house, if you would take care of those.
I will.
That will make it a lot easier for us.
We will.
Can we set this for the June 27th status date?
Just one clarification, June 27th is fine, but just so you know, the inspection, the order to repair or demolish was issued on February the 15th, lists more than just cleaning it out and exterminating it. It did talk about designation of unfit buildings, failure to secure vacant property, time restraints on vacant property, construction and maintenance of buildings, duties of owners and occupants, sanitation, heating, plumbing, electrical, foundation walls, floors, windows, doors, and maintaining nuisances. So to say that everything on the notice from February is taken care of is a mischaracterization. They got the rats killed.
Again.
There's a request for the June 27th for the status and the encouragement of a little more regular inspection. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. President.
That's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 4742 Homan.
Yes, Mr. President. To kind of help move things along, 4742 Homan, 6257 Homan, 6039 Jackson, 4203 Johnson. Those 4 properties all are making progress, and the Building Department and Inspections Department is keeping an eye on them. They can all be moved to June 27th. Next.
Thank you. 631 Kane Street.
We did receive a fax last night late from Attorney John Craig indicating that he believed that, well, first of all, indicating that his client no longer owned the property. Secondly, indicating that he believed the Rothschild Bank in Chicago, the owner of the property, was not properly noticed. Ms. Kantar and I double-checked our file. They were properly noticed. I do not believe anyone's here on that property today, and we would request that the order to demolish be affirmed by the board.
I move to proceed with the order to demolish.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 222 Marble Street.
This is another property that's making progress, and under the watchful eye of the Inspections Department, we'd ask for June 27th.
June 27th it is. 7513 Marshall.
7513 Marshall. What's wrong with this property, Mr. President, is that an agreement to rehabilitate was entered early in 2012. There's been very little progress. Neighbors are still complaining about this property. We would ask that the demolition order be entered and affirmed.
I move that the order to demolish proceed.
All in favor?
Aye.
7513 Marshall.
We just did that. I'm sorry, Mr. President.
I'm sorry, 6317 Monroe.
17 Monroe is similar to the other property where Attorney Golding is accounting for the tax sales. And she, Ellison Poe, sent me over an agreement at 12:44 a.m. However, it was the wrong agreement, and I just asked us to take it over until June so we can get the right agreement.
June 27th?
Yes, Mr. President.
Very good. 6431 Nebraska.
It's under an agreement to rehabilitate. There is progress being made under the, with the Inspection Department watching. June 27th, please.
Very good. 5730 Northcutt.
Mr. Coe is here today. He's the attorney for the owner, one of the owners. There's a quiet title action currently pending. Mr. Coe has indicated to me that, that he can have his client pay for the inspection and that an inspection will be performed before the June 27th date. So we'd ask for the June 27th date.
Okay. 7230 Ohio.
We did receive some photographs on this from the building department. And this is the garage. Yeah, the garage was knocked down.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm sorry, sir. Can we get your name?
Gary Lee with Summit Properties.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the garage was knocked down. We'd ask this be removed from the demolition list.
I move that action at 7230 Ohio be dismissed.
Second.
Thank you for complying. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes,
6738 Alcott.
This is a bank property. Mr. Krasinski's here on behalf of the bank and for an update.
Wells Fargo did purchase the property at share sale. The property has been deeded to Fannie Mae, who is the guarantor. Fannie Mae is looking, he's getting demolition bids right now on the property. They've just recently acquired the property in their portfolio and just needs a little time to get everything completed.
Okay, do you believe, Mr. Krasinski, by June 27th we'll have an answer?
I believe absolutely.
June 27th, Mr. President.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye, I'm sorry. 6742 Alcott.
At the last hearing, Ms. Trepton was here. She asked that she'd be given time due to a medical condition and other issues to have an inspection. The inspection was not completed. At this time, we asked the order of demolition to be affirmed with permits being held and a status for June 27th as to whether it should be bid.
I move the demolition at 6742 Alcott. Proceed.
All in favor? Aye. 3545 163rd Street.
Ms. Perez was here at the last hearing. I don't believe she's here today. We're looking to update the title, so if we could have the June 27th date.
So be it. 3545 163rd.
We just did that, Mr. President.
All right, 5 Rimbeck Street.
Mr. Sorge, I think, is on this property.
Yes, we're actually, the property is vacant. It's been cleaned out. I think it's cleaned up around it. We're trying to get an inspection, and we actually are exploring the potential of transferring the property to a new owner, but we need to get an inspection and a report done to get it changed into a single-family home. That was the building commissioner wished that to be converted into a single-family home. We don't have the plans put together for that yet, but we will have plans done, or a plan by June 27th, if we could have that date.
And the inspection has been paid for, it just hasn't been performed, so it's a matter of hopefully entering a rehab agreement into a single-family home would be the city's preference. So if we could have that June 27th.
We'll see you on June 27th, Mr. Sorge. 5 Rimbeck Street.
I believe Ms. Roby is here today. She was here at last meeting, asked for continuance. If the city's notes show no repairs being made, the city's position would be to ask for the demolition order to be affirmed.
I am here, and we would like to continue to try to work on the building. We have been trying to work on the building. I'm a little confused why this property is so important to you guys, because this courthouse is in worse condition than that property. And the statute this courthouse we're in right here, this city building is in worse condition than 7 Rimbeck. You have holes in the ceilings, you have exposed wires, stuff that my mother's house doesn't have. So we're trying to work on this, but you're not doing anything to this building, so why are you in such a hurry to take care of this building from this 83-year-old woman?
Let her go.
I'm attempting to work on this for her.
Mr. President, we'd like to see pictures of 7 Rimbeck. We have it. Some we have, like all the other properties.
Are we dealing with 7 Rimbeck also?
It is boarded up. It is full of garbage, just like the previous properties. It's a hoarder's house. It's full of things. It's fire hazard. It's vacant. It's boarded up. It needs to be repaired.
It is not totally boarded up. The bottom door was boarded up because people kept breaking in every time we tried to clean it. It is not loaded with stuff. It is not a hoarder's house because there's not much in it.
Ms. Roby, the problem is that you haven't paid for an inspection to allow us to confirm whether or not it is a hoarder's house or not. And I can tell you one thing, there's no, City Hall's doors are not boarded up like 7 Rimbeck.
You have a board-up door on downstairs.
Excuse me, Ms. Roby?
Yes.
There's been pictures submitted to this board from October 17th of 2012. Were you able to view these pictures at the last hearing?
No, nobody showed me the pictures. But I had a realtor that had gone into the building before, and he's the one that put the lock on the door so you could get in and out.
Ms. Roby, can you please view those pictures and express to the board whether or not the property that's displayed in those pictures is in the same condition today as it appears to be in those pictures from October? Or
It is not in the same condition. It's in a little better condition, but it is still being worked on.
Can you tell
and
me
as
what...
you can see, the windows are open. You can see the windows in these pictures.
Ms. Roby, can you testify as to what, if any, permits were pulled for work to be done between the 10/17 date on those pictures and today's hearing?
There have been no permits because Ms. Cantor told me I could not work on the building. She told me I couldn't sell the building. She's constantly telling me what I cannot do, but doesn't tell me what I can do. I tried to get a lawyer, and the lawyer told me that it would cost me more to fight this than it would be to let the building go. But you'd already took a building before.
How long has the building?
And I have contacted the Better Government Association, and I've actually contacted the Kent College of Law and the Attorney General, Pam Zeckman and all those other people, but even the Kent College of Law say that half of the laws that you're using here for this particular building aren't even legal. And there's statutes you're using to do this that are being applied improperly. Now, this was tried in Chicago, and they took care of a whole lot of buildings from a lot of people, older people like this that had no money, and they all ended up in jail, okay? This isn't the way you can do this. You can't just take anything from anybody. Now, I didn't catch on when you took the first piece of property from my mother, all right, because I didn't know this was going on. But you know what? When you look at this one property, it seems to be an anomaly. But when you look at the pattern that you're doing, there seems to be a map of area for the last several years that it looks like you have a long-term plan going on. So you don't want these people to save it. Because my last house passed inspection and you demolished it anyway, even though the garage was never part of the issue, and you demolished the garage also. So I don't understand why you're targeting these people and telling me I can't sell and telling me I can't do all these things. Now, I did find out that there was somebody that I went to school with, didn't even know that she lives in Indiana, Tula Cavadias, and her sister. And I know they already passed, they had a grievance against, a lawsuit against the government that they already won. So I have been investigating why you're doing this to all these properties, because you took the property next to my mom's house that there was nothing wrong with. You've got the property on either side. So why are you going after only these properties? I want time to work on this house. I deserve the time. My mother had a stroke, so yes, it has been difficult. And of course, I live in Illinois where we just had floods. So these people were going to come, but they're busy right now on the flood issues. So
just a minute.
I never told her she can't sell the property. She just asked to disclose this demolition order to anybody.
Well, it seems to me that if you spent more time repairing the property instead of investigating us and our massive lawful conduct, we wouldn't have this problem.
If you gave me time to work on it, we wouldn't have this
One
problem.
thing that she hasn't done that is very simple to do, that many other property owners that you've seen before the board today, and that are probably still here, is pay for an inspection, $150 to the inspection department so they can find out what's wrong with the property, so that we can enter an agreement to rehabilitate. And as you can see, as you've heard today, we've continued many properties because progress is being made under rehabilitation agreements. So Ms. Roby's allegations of a plan or a master plan is totally incorrect. What the city has done is that they've identified problem properties, nuisance properties, vacant properties, and made the owners do what they're supposed to do. Make the buildings livable, make them up to code, and make them something that's good for the city and not blight.
I can get an order of inspection if that's what you want, but I got an order of inspection last time. The last piece of property was inspected and it passed inspection, and then you demolished it. So you're not giving me anywhere to go. If you want an order of inspection, I'll get that. Continue to June 27th, and I will get an order of inspection.
Okay. Mr. President, at the last hearing, when was the last hearing date?
January.
January 24th.
January. We entered an order to repair or demolish. There's been no progress we held over an order to repair or demolish.
And I have been working on it.
We held it based on the fact that this property owner was either going to repair the property or demolish the property themselves. Since no action has been taken, I'd like to...
Well, that's not exactly true. Action has been taken, but you didn't tell me that I needed an order of...
Entered as submitted.
Action has been taken on this house.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
$1233 Sherman Street.
Sir, we need those photos.
Yeah, I paid for the inspection. They inspected it, and he was doing a rehab agreement, and he's still drawing that up for me to sign.
I wrote it up, I sent it to and where's the file? I wrote it up.
For the record, we're just giving the agreement to rehabilitate to Mr. Rios for him to review and sign. If we could have the June 27th date to allow the rehab agreement to be entered and hopefully moving forward. Sign that, Mr. Cook. Okay? Thank you. 207 Southmore is the next property, Mr. President.
Very good.
207 Southmore. We did have a conversation with Attorney Boringer. We would ask that this be moved to notice to bid, and which would be the next step in the process.
I move that the demolition at 207 Southmore proceed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
650 to 54 State Street.
It's been demolished by the owner. Removed from the demolition list, please.
Thank you. 1143 Summer Street.
1143 Summer Street. This is the owner occupied by the Askews. They've been slowly making the progress that I believe they are kind of able to do.
My husband David, he had his left lung removed. They found some cancer, and that slowed us down.
Yep.
That was on March 12th. But we have been getting bids for the roof, and I'm checking out the companies because we did pay someone to fix the roof, and they were not a reputable company. And so before we spend more money with someone that's not reputable, I want to.
Yeah, and Ms. Askey, I would just ask you to just keep in coordination and communication with the building. Yeah, Mr. Cook, and the building department's working with them, Mr. President, so we would just ask for a status.
We've been making progress. It's almost all done now, and I'm trying to find out if this Archway Construction of Chicago is a good reputable company.
Talk with Mr. Cook, make sure they're licensed, or Mr.
Do
Callahan.
we have a date after the next date after?
Sure, I think we have a September date. We just haven't set it yet, but what we'll do is make sure that whatever that date is in September, we'll set it for then, and we'll send them a letter.
That would be my motion.
Is there a second?
September, we'll send you a letter.
All in favor? Aye. 1920 Superior.
Right. The roof is the last.
This property is, was sold on tax sale. It's under an agreement to rehabilitate. We'd ask for June 27th for status.
Very good. 1150 Summer Street.
The permits have been pulled for removing the plaster, shingles, trim, and rotten wood, remove the plumbing. It's moving along, and I guess he's pulled permit to install doors and locks.
June 27th.
Please.
3916 Torrance.
I think Mr. Krasinski's here on that for a status.
As my understanding, the repairs are completed and they're actually ready for a final inspection with the bank to get the last draw.
We'd ask for, we should...
I move to dismiss action subject to
final inspection.
Final inspection.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 1459 Truman.
You may remember Mr. Wittes here at the last hearing. He did enter an agreement to rehabilitate and is making progress. We'd ask for the June date. It's supposed to expire around that date.
June 27th it is. 23 to 25 Webb Street.
Mr. O'Donnell called yesterday. I believe Ms. Sorensen is probably here this morning. Based on my conversation with Mr. O'Donnell, Ms. Sorensen is going to allow the order of demolition to be entered. I've given Mr. O'Donnell a timeline as to when bids would occur, and I believe Ms. Sorensen's attempting to sell the property.
Yeah, I'm Betty Sorensen. I would like the balance of the summer, maybe till August, to finish emptying it. My husband was ill during the month of January, so that stopped me from going over to finish. Otherwise, I probably would have been done emptying it. I'm really close to being done. Would also, during that time period, like to find a rehabber if I could to sell the property to. If that doesn't happen, then I have to let the house go.
What we'll do, maybe perhaps what we should do is to, we'd like to ask that the order be affirmed. We'll hold permits till September 1.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 70 to 38 Wicker.
I talked with Mr. Stetinoff late yesterday. He's the attorney for the owner. Progress is being made. We're going to ask for the September date on this one.
Very good. 636 Willow Court.
Mr. Bnasiak has entered today on behalf of the owner an agreement to rehabilitate. That is going to begin happening. We'd ask for the June date.
6633 Alexander.
Oh, Mr. Oh, I guess we have.
I got a phone call.
We're going to have a fight over who's representing
No, it's okay. Go
The bank.
Is it the bank or the?
Okay. I'm the bank, so.
These are all new demos, by the way, Mr. President. The next alphabet.
That is the bar.
Right.
I'm here for the bank.
Okay, right, I know.
Mr. Krasinski's here for the bank. Attorney Sorge is here for the
For
owner.
James McMahon, yes. They've got a contract with Ogrodowski Construction to redo the roof. They need to get an inspection done before they start putting the money
Permit's been pulled? The roof's the big
have
problem.
not, right, he's gonna, Ogrodowski came in my office, said he's gonna submit a contract, but they haven't had time to do it yet. They just got retained yesterday, so I assume that they,
You'll pay for an inspection?
we're going to pay for an inspection.
June for, make sure there's been an inspection, otherwise we'll enter it then. You could have that date, Mr. President, June 20th.
Very good. 6633 Alexander.
We just did that one. We're on 4904 Ash.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Rusnick was here last time and indicated that he wasn't spending any money to fix it. There's fire damage in the rear. He sent a letter asking for more time and says he's going to try to get a loan and fix the property. We'd give him until June 27th to accomplish that.
I move to proceed with the order to repair or demolish.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. 6735 Carolina Avenue.
Just to make sure we affirm that from the, okay.
Very good.
35 Carolina, 6735 Carolina. Hi, can we have your name, please?
Kimberly Moore-Titus, I'm here for Joe Stewart.
And Joe Stewart is the former owner, right?
He is the current owner. He did file bankruptcy, but the bank has refused to complete the foreclosure process. We're attempting to donate the property to Habitat for Humanity, so we would ask that we be continued to the June 27th date.
Granted.
Thank you.
Do you have a card or something? No? Do you leave a card or something?
410 Conkey Street.
Hey, Jamie Driscoll here for the property owner. Since the last hearing, we've had a walkthrough with Mr. Cook. I talked to the property owner. He's going to pay for the inspection. We should have it paid for this week. So we've had an inspection. We've not paid for a report. It's a vacant property that my client bought to fix up for his daughter. For financial reasons, he can't afford to do it. He's looking to sell it. He does have a potential buyer that's been involved in this whole process and is fully apprised of what's going on. So, I mean, I'd ask for the June 27th if the city does not oppose.
Yeah, we need an inspection by then.
Yeah, I expect the report will be paid for this week.
I think I'm busy on June 27th. Very good. 4908 Columbia.
We did get a call from Bank of America, so there's a share sale date for May 3rd. Inspection must occur before June 27th, so that's what we told Bank of America.
Move to proceed with the order to demolish or repair.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 1020 Highland Street.
Mr. President, Dave Saxon over a fax requesting a continuance. This is the house where the kids store dead cats in the basement. It requires fumigation. I don't know for what purpose they did this, but there is a problem with odor, so I was asking to set it for June 27th, but it actually does not occur. If something has happened by June 27th, we need to enter the order at that time because of
It is occupied.
June 27th. Cats in the basement.
Is there a sign in the front yard?
For sale?
stuffing area.
1136 Highland Street.
1136 Highland, proper notice having been given, we'd ask that the order be affirmed.
I move to proceed with the demolition of 1136 Highland.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 7019 Jackson.
Mr. Runyon, the current owner, has been in contact with, I'm sorry. could you-
I'm Attorney Leslie Wagers. I'm here on behalf of U.S. Bank.
Okay. Maybe Ms. Runyon, or I'm sorry, Ms. Wagers could give us a update as to the status of the property.
What I can tell you that the bank knows is that the loan is current, and so the state of the property was a surprise to the bank when they received the order last week. Since they received the order, they have been attempting to contact the Runyons to see what their intention is with the property and have had no response. And it would be the bank's position to request a continuance to allow them time to send in a property preservation team to respond to these issues.
Here's the problem. Mr. Runyon's indicated that it was due to a bad tenant in his correspondence with the city, but the water records show that water's been off since February of 2010. So, He has been in contact with Mr. Cook, but it's the city's position that because the water's been off that long, that we're concerned about the condition. Ms. Cantar has spoke with the bank, I believe, and has agreed that we'd continue to June 27th, but if no action is taken at that time, we'd like to enter the order.
Actually, Mr. President, I spoke with William Runnan, who's the owner. I didn't know it was in foreclosure.
No, it's not. The loan's current.
Oh, okay. This is the first I've heard of that, but if we did agree to continue to June 27th, provided the physical inspection was occurred because of the, pipe supply burst.
Very good. 918 Michigan. By the way, Mr. Matthews, do you have a case left?
I do.
You can come on up and we'll dispose of that next. 918 Michigan Street.
918 Michigan. Mr. President, we'd ask that the order be affirmed. Notice has been properly given.
I move to proceed with the order to repair, demolish 918 Michigan.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Which property is yours, Mr. Matthews?
It's item K on your agenda, hearing on 4754 Elm Avenue. This was a house that had been made into a 2-unit in the basement, 2-unit on the ground floor. The owner is in Iowa. His mother lives there. She's the only occupant. I had put together, and I would tender to Ms. Cantar an agreed order they can review. He will remove the apartment and all of the partition walls in the basement, including removing one of the bathrooms there, so there would only be one bath and open space in the basement. He will also remove one of the bathrooms upstairs so that and the kitchen, so that there's a single-family residence there, all subject to pulling permits and final inspection by the city. So the property would then be converted to a single-family residence. So I'd tender that to Ms. Cantar for her review and the building department's review.
You want to set this over for 2 weeks for completion of that?
I'm seeing it for the first time now,
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Was all over it. It's in terrible condition. The roof is bad. The doors of the storm cellar is open. I don't believe anyone's here. Proper notice has been given. We'd ask for the order to be affirmed.
I move to proceed with the order to repair or demolish 923 Michigan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
935 Michigan.
Mr. President, I misspoke on 918 Michigan. Ms. Cantar reminded me that we did get contact from the Selvins, who are the new owners, as of March 31 in 2013, and we agreed to a continuance to June 27th on 918.
This is kind of a funny story. They sent somebody over to look at repairing it, and there are no house numbers on the properties, and they were under the impression we'd already demolished it and we knocked down 920 previously. So that caused a bit of a delay.
935 Michigan.
Hi, could you, who are you, sir?
Gerardo Rivas?
Are you the owner?
Yes.
Mr. President, this is a brick 2-story building with siding that's detaching. The bricks are coming off and are cracked. There's a legal porch to the rear, including stairs, and there's a concern that the interior floors are looking close to collapse. There's been no movement on this property per the building department in some time.
Your chance to respond, sir.
I need some time so I can fix what needs to be taken care of.
How long have you owned the property, sir?
For like 2 years, I think.
Have you done anything on the property during those 2 years?
Yes, I've been.
Have you pulled permits?
Yes.
What are your intentions concerning repair of the property?
I want to fix the basement walls. That I believe that's the main issue. So I want to bring a licensed contractor.
How much time do you think you will need to complete the repairs?
I would like to do that in the summer when it's nice, so that way it'll be easier for me and for whoever that goes in there.
Mr. Callahan's indicated that he's willing to pay for an inspection, especially regarding the structural integrity of the building due to some separation of the brick, that he'd be willing to allow Mr.
Okay, you want to continue this 30 days to complete an inspection?
The owner's going to have to pay, we'll continue for 30 days. The owner's going to have to pay for the inspection. We'll give him an inspection report, and he can make the decision if he wants to invest that much money or not.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, June 27th. Mr. Rivas, could you make sure that we get
Very good.
your phone number and your address, please?
So I'm gonna come back in June 27th?
Yes, but talk to Ms. Cantor.
1710 and 1712 Michigan Street.
Ms. Almanson did contact us. She is the person who inherited the property from her father, both 1710 and 1712 Michigan. Ms. Cantor spoke with her and agreed to a continuance to June 27th.
Mr. President, her intention is to demolish the property herself if she can't sell it.
This was Ms. Almason?
That is correct.
What is her first name?
Nancy?
Nancy. She has 1710 and 1712, and she can't sell it, she's going to demolish it herself.
So we're going to monitor that progress and hopefully report back in June that she's demolished it.
1724 Michigan.
Again, this individual would like to demolish the property himself. We're going to monitor it. He said it would be done by the springtime, so if we could have June 27th.
Very good. 4845 and 4847 Oak Avenue.
This has been properly noticed. There was an issue because there were two lots and it was continued from the April date. I believe it's been properly noticed. Now we would ask that the board affirm the order of demolition.
I recommend we proceed with the order to repair or demolish 4845 Oak.
Concur in the recommendation. 6804 Parish.
Mr. Driscoll's here on behalf of the owner, I believe.
No, on behalf of White Pines Capital Partners, tax lien purchaser. I have not had the opportunity to talk to the city yet about this, but as I said, they're a tax lien purchaser. For the sale redemption period ends this August. Their intention is to rehab the property, whatever needs to be done. That would be a nice single-family home.
When do you believe, I mean, if the redemption period ends in August, when do you think tax deed?
So I would expect at some point this fall, they'll have a tax deed, assuming the property's not redeemed.
I guess the current concern is that it's in the neighborhood, as you can see by the address, and there's an open shed in the back that is just absolutely, from our estimation, it's full of garbage and things like that, so it needs to be cleaned out. I think that's our concern currently. It's not in terrible shape, as you can see from the property. It is boarded up. Looks like that. Yeah.
You know if it's vacant?
Oh, yeah.
It's vacant.
It's been boarded up for years. Somebody's living in there.
Okay.
Which we would get.
I don't know what they can, I mean, they're happy to do whatever they can legally.
It's going to be the September date since the redemption period is not till August.
Right.
So we'd ask for the September date.
You got one over there?
We don't yet. They haven't established it.
We haven't established it, but I don't think we've established it yet. It'd be probably the last Thursday.
The 19th or the 26th?
Probably the 20th. Let me just, if I could just check. 1 second. Would be the date.
September 26th.
Very good. 4610 Pine.
This is actually under an agreement to rehab. We've got a letter from a contractor that Ms. Kinsella is making the repairs on this property. She said they'd be done during the summer, so if we could have the September date on that one, September 26th.
Very good. 951 Reese Street.
Ms. Cosme, actually, the owner, called, and she has contacted the city for inspection. If we could have the September date on this one.
Very good. That's the 26th, correct?
That's correct, September 26th.
1013 Reese Street.
Properly noticed, we'd ask for the entering of the order of demolition as no one is present.
Move to proceed with the order to repair or demolish 1013 Reese.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4149 Sheffield.
Your name, sir?
Juan Gomez.
Juan Gomez. Are you the owner?
Yes.
Okay. An inspection report was actually done on March 15, 2013 by Mr. Cook, waiting for some plans. The rear porch is one of the main concerns, and at this point there's been no agreement to rehabilitate been entered.
No. I got the plans for the architect already. I waited
Looks
for
like we have some plans by Mr. Taylor, and they're being presented. Have you given these to the building department yet?
No, not yet. That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay, we're going to ask that Mr. Gomez be subject to an agreement to rehabilitate if he'd be willing to enter that, and on June 27th, we just have, if we could ask for a status on June 27th, Ms. Cantar is going to hand him the agreement to rehabilitate so he can sign it and hopefully enter that and have some progress made by June. It's 4149. Make sure you get to Mr. Cook, okay?
Mr. Cook?
Yeah, the building department. Yeah, but we're going to give you something real quick.
All right.
Very good. 4221 Sheffield.
4221 Sheffield. Mr. President, the water's been off since 1997. We believe that the garage may have been converted to a house. The roof is starting to fail and it's missing its siding. The building department reports there's been no movement on this property.
No. May I speak?
Yes, your name,
Yes,
ma'am?
ma'am.
I'm Laura Viveros.
What's the last name?
Viveros.
V-I?
Veros.
Are you the owner?
Yes.
Okay.
The house was supposed to be, when I was married, my husband was supposed to convert it into a shack. A shed, better I've said. We used to have a pool and all that, and the kids are all home, but I've been divorced 8 years. And financially, I worked 2 jobs and trying to take care of my house and the lots. But when I got the notice, I called a friend and see what he can do, because I actually want the house demolished, but I can't afford it. So I talked to a friend, he said he could do it, but I'm waiting for my income tax check to go in, and I had to quit a job so I could take care of my mom during the day, so I just need a little time to get it demolished. It does need to be demolished. I can't afford the upkeep in it, and I don't really need it anymore for a shed because I have nobody at home anymore.
Do you think you can get it done by June 27th?
Yes, sir. I just need to financially just wait for my
Status
income tax.
June 27th. If it's done, there's no need to appear.
I think we should.
I move to proceed with the order to demolish.
Right.
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.
I have to come back in June.
623 to 625 Sibley, the rear house.
Yes, Mr. President, this is to be self-demolished. Mr. Wunsch, Anthony Wunsch, contacted the law department, and he indicated that he would self-demolish the property, so we'd ask that the order be affirmed.
He's already pulled the permit. I believe it might have already been done. Do we know what we did? 25?
Yep.
Pull the permit.
June 27th. Thank you.
All right, can we just continue until June? He's going to do it himself at some point.
Okay. The inspections department's indicated he's been very cooperative, so that's fine. June 27th, just to confirm it's been self-demolished.
Very good. 5661 Soul.
There was just a very recent inspection report that was done, so the owner has been complying with our request to do the inspection. We're hoping that a rehab agreement will be signed in the near future. We'd ask for the June 27th to confirm the rehab agreement.
Very good. 816 State Street.
816 State, proper notice having been given, we'd ask that the order be affirmed as no one is appearing.
I move to proceed with the demolition.
Second.
816 State.
All in favor? Aye. 920 State Street.
Mr. President, seeing no one is appearing, proper notice having been given under the statute, we'd ask the order be affirmed.
I move to proceed with the order to demolish 920 State Street. That's my motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 7243 State Line.
Mr. Sorge appears, I believe, with the owner.
With the owner, yes.
Her name?
Wendy Wang.
Mr. President, this property is not attached to city sewers. It sits basically right along the state line in the rear of 172nd Street or Place. You may recall there was a fire at the old Panera's home at 4 172nd. This property actually sits behind it. It's hard to access.
Yeah, we haven't determined really whether that's true or not. We're looking at the plans that there might be a Y connection, that they redid the sewer system, and I think it goes into a Y into the neighbors. But we have to look and try to figure out we just got the notice. She applied for the inspection. She has paid for the inspection, but it hasn't been completed yet. So I just need time to figure out exactly how we're going to proceed on this.
Is this a property that was south of where the Panera's property used to be?
Yes, south and a little bit east, I believe.
What are your wishes, gentlemen?
Well, the owner hasn't been very cooperative at all, hasn't responded to any letters we sent her to inspect the property. I'd like the
we just got the notice, this notice in March, and she was out of town. She immediately wrote back to them and told them that she just needed a month to pull a permit and get moving. And we're acting on it now.
I marked the house uninhabitable back in August last year because of the sewer problem. She was back up in the house. So, sewer's been out there, the reports from the sewer department are recommended we get those and put those in part of the inspection. I wouldn't be acknowledge over that knowledge. Sewer stance that they're probably going to need a forced sewer to force the sewage into the main on her second place.
Is the new owner? No.
How long have you owned it?
2 years.
I move this gets set to the June 27th demolition date. And in the meantime, hopefully, an order to inspect and rehabilitation agreement can be constructed.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming. 943 Summer Street.
943 Summer, seeing no one present, this property is in terrible condition. Mr. President, we would ask, given proper notice, that the order be affirmed.
I move to proceed with the demolition of 943 Summer.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 4703 Torrance.
This is only for the garage, Mr. President. There being no one present, we'd ask that the order be affirmed.
I move to proceed with the demolition of the garage at 4703 Torrance.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 4404 Toll.
We have had contact from the bank attorney, and they've asked for a continuance to June 27th.
Very good. 4504 Toll.
Lake County Trust actually owns the property now. There's a trust that owns it, and they've asked and indicated they're trying to rezone the property. It's a boarded-up stucco commercial structure, so we agreed to a continuance to June 27th.
Very good. 831 Truman.
There's graffiti all over this house, Mr. President. It's in terrible condition. We'd ask that the order to demolish be affirmed. Proper notice having been given.
I move that the demolition proceed at 831 Truman.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 954 Wilcox.
It's a boarded-up structure. Water's been off for over a year. There's been no movement per the building department. Proper notice having been given. We ask the order be affirmed.
I move to proceed with the demolition of 954 Wilcox.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you to the board.
Item M, 912 Summer.
Jamie Driscoll here for the property owner. This is, Mr. Cook's gone through it. The upstairs unit has been partially, maybe completely removed. We're waiting to hear from the city exactly what if anything else needs to be done. I'm asking for a short continuance, 30 days. That's my understanding.
Fine, June 27th. June 6th is fine. Next, 12 Lawndale and 268 169th Street.
I'm also here for both of those properties. Lawndale is, we've gone through it with Mr. Cook. We are waiting to hear exactly what needs to be done to have it a compliant 2-unit property. We've been told by the inspector it may need to be gone through again because there was an area of the property that may not have been seen during the initial walkthrough. I'm asking for 30 days.
This property,
yes.
Property has to be restored back to single-family home. They had permits in 46 to put 2 rooms on the second floor, and evidently sometime they converted that into an apartment. If I'm not
What was your motion?
Yeah, that's my request, be restored back to a single-family home.
Continuance to 6/6 to give the building department an opportunity to review the unit.
June 6th it is, thank you. 4618 Oak.
I'm sorry, are we on June 6th on both properties?
Yes.
Okay. If I may ask, I've got W2, and that's my last one, if we could go out of order a little bit.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's
Thank-
item W?
Yeah, 714 Sibley Street.
Okay.
And again,
Go
I'm
ahead.
here for the owner. This is a 3-unit. This also, I walked through with Mr. Cook, and who told me he could support a 2-unit at this property. I've been told by my client he agrees to convert it to a 2-unit. We now just need to get a list of exactly what needs to be done to make it a compliant 2-unit. So I'd ask for maybe the 6/6 date on this property as well.
That's fine. 4839L. Okay, 4618 Oak, I'm sorry.
Good morning. This is Robert Sorge representing Mr. Tamayo. I need to hear what the position of the city is on this. Mr. Tamayo was under understanding he had an inspection and that it was satisfactory.
No, we're asking for the removal of the second floor apartment. There are no permits to convert, no fire separation. Ceiling height, anywhere from 6'2" in the bedroom to 6'10". Does not meet code.
Has there been a demolition inspection on it?
No.
Yeah.
There's no demo inspection.
He had an evidently, did somebody came to your house? Yeah.
That's, Mr. Sorge, Matt and myself were out there. No demo is on this property. It's removal of the second floor apartment that does not meet building code from the beginning of 7-foot ceiling height being minimal.
Okay.
It doesn't have any portion that is in a very clean apartment, very nice apartment. I understand that. But it was never converted, never burning permits to convert. Does not have minimal building code for ceiling height. It's always one of the most basic fundamentals of the
Right, yes. But there's not currently a demolition order.
No.
Now, if we could have time to get this, so does he need to get inspection before he does this, or pull a permit for it, just pull a permit? Okay. We could have June 27th. Yes, 6/27.
6/27 be better for
Be
you?
much better, yeah, thank you.
6/27, Mr. President?
Very good. 4841L. Let's do them both, 4839 and 4841L. Yeah.
I think Kurt Boss sent over a fax on the other one. I guess they couldn't go with the other on it. So the Attorney Boss has for continuance on Q, but not on D. Want to sit for the same day, or should go? Or do you have two weeks?
May 30th was set for 3
Right, when did Mr. Boss get from his fax? I don't know. Mr. President, if you have the fax from Attorney Boss, you request to continue on the 4841.
Yeah, we're on Q. Literally.
Doesn't appear to be so, Ms. Cantar. Mr. President, I think set item Q, reset item Q for May 30th.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 4504 Holman.
That was the grocery store that was set for demolition hearing today. The bank representative was already here. Discussing about the tires outside the store, basically keeping it clean. So I think we can cross that out.
Very good. 839 to 841 Chicago Street. Any recommendation from code enforcement?
The owner of this, that last demo hearing, came and said he's gonna have contractors come out, give estimates on what it costs to repair the building, and that it, was cost effective that he could actually do the demolition himself. Here to come up on a demolition hearing, and I don't believe we've had any contact with any contractor or the owner. But this property is in pretty serious shape. It's actually 8045 is the actual building itself. So whiskey.
Is a demolition order in place?
Believe it's out there.
Oh, I understand. I know I have to look this. This is the one we originally had at 839 to 4, and, to 41, and we issued a demolition order. However, that's a garage. So when we thought something was up and all the bids were coming in at $3,000 for the this large structure. We discovered that the real address was 839-45, and we are going to renotice the entire property for the next demolition date in June. So if we just want to continue to June, there was a problem, we didn't get the proper notice, the proper address on the first set of demo paperwork.
June 27th, 423 Florence.
That was on the demo list, we should train on their agreement, got inspection. No, they set it for status for
June 27th it is. 6136 Van Buren.
That was the other property that she purchased. It's actually on a demo area. The gentleman was interested in buying the property. We had to convert back to single family home. I don't know if that sale has been done.
Sounds like June 27th to me. Rental registration hearing, 6829 California.
We have an agreement to rehabilitate the property at 441 Lewis. That was a demolition property. There is an agreement to rehabilitate.
You need a status?
No, I just need you guys to sign B.
I move that we approve the agreement to rehabilitate 441 Lewis.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. 6829 California. No one appearing on the rental registration appeal. Is there a motion to deny?
29 California, Mr. Callahan. That's where the son lives. We can dismiss that.
Yeah, the letter was sent to,
Is this related living, Laura?
Yes.
I move that the
owner of that property
action at
actually had
California be dismissed.
son living there, and I ran it today, the property's actually the son's actually owner of that property now, so we can dismiss this.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Next, from Ms. Zenobia. Wants to hold a birthday party with street closure Saturday, May the 4th.
We're not sure if it's a street
That's
or a
Roger Callahan's 90th birthday.
92nd, Joe.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, we're not sure if she's talking, because she's talking about having a party in the backyard, so I'm not sure if you're talking about closing the alley or the street. So we can approve it subject to her clarifying that.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Next, correspondence requesting rental registration hearings on a number of properties.
May 23rd, Mr. President.
May 23rd confirmed. Next, Mr. Padula requests a hearing on 854 Indiana Street. How about the same date, May 23rd? Next, correspondence from Councilman Higgs. He requests that a sewer be placed in the alley of the 1000 block of May Street.
Yeah, he's talking about a drainage structure. I think we're looking into that, so just refer that down to engineer.
How difficult is that to accomplish typically?
Depends on where the sewer is that you can tie it into.
Okay.
The actual structure isn't very expensive, but if you have to run real far, it can make it an expensive project.
Very good. Next, from First Midwest Bank. They want to place 3 40-yard dumpsters on Fayette Street, April 29th through Friday, May 3rd.
I'll make a recommendation, I'll make a motion that we approve the placement.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Next, garage sale permits for 3254 173rd and 7545 Monroe.
I move that the permits be approved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Matters from board members. Matters from department heads, new business, old business. Item 11.